चतंतौ दीनौ च यौ गोपी भावरसामृता दिलहरी कल्लोलमग्नौ नमो वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगं श्रीजीव गोपालकं कृष्ण कीर्तन।
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम
how's he going to know about it?
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. Chant and be happy.
Hare Krishna. Are we ready to go? Let's see where we are. Hare Bo, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda, and welcome to the Sunday morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class, reading and discussion. Before we start the program, we've introduced a new set of mantras that Prabhupada recommended that the students of him learn and chant every day. So we'll play that right now.
Śrīla Prabhupada Stotram. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Krishna Kacheta Madamoha Vinashakarin Madrishti Gochara Prabhupada Swamin Dosha Vivritti Paridushita Manda Buddhe Tanchintayami Charano Tava Bhakti Etu Vrindavane Ramanareti Prasiddha Bhumau Tatrapi Krishna Balarama Supada Mule Jnanam Param Parama Krishna Sudharma Ityuktam Dantastuleva Prabhupada Namo Namaste 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 Kripa Purnadrishti Namaste Namaste Mahananda Datri Namamo Namama Punaraksha Raksha Prasiddha Prabhupahimam Daksha Daksha Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shrivanga Bhumijana Bhushana Ghora Leela Ghoranga Bhava Parisharana Matra Shila Radha Mukunda Pada Padma Manovilasin Ananda Rashi Prabhupada Namo Namaste Ananda Rasi Prabhupada Namo Namaste Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Very inspiring, I must say, and I see a lot of you are really appreciating the additions we're making to our transcendental experience at this program. You know, sadhana bhakti should be enlivening. And it's interesting to note, Mother Ruchisha, that we have a lot of people, relatively speaking, a lot of people attending our programs. It's gradually virally expanding throughout the globe. And because people are interested in the truth, many of the programs that are being conducted in other groups are of a very small level of attendance in them. For example, some places you may go to the center, they may have 2 or 3 people at the class, if you're lucky. And then 2 or 3 of them are partially falling asleep because it's somewhat boring, especially because the people that are preaching are confused and the truth is being distorted by them for various reasons. But in our program, I want to compliment everybody who comes to these classes, that how attentive you are. If we have 50 people at our program, they are attentive to hear what's going on. And we're creating all kinds of variety of information for our membership so that they become educated properly in the philosophy of Krishna consciousness according to Prabhupada's teachings. Yes, and that change of philosophy is a weakness for other groups. When you change the philosophy, you change the purpose, you change the focus, and eventually some of these people, they come, they think they're getting spiritual life, and then they wake up one day and realize they're being misled, misinformed, and lied to for various reasons. This is unfortunate. And this is not acceptable in the disciplic succession from Śrīla Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's a great sin. And those people and the people that are following them are being misled, and that is something that we are trying to clarify with our membership. And we want all of you to also be ambassadors of truth, to go out and explain the truth to other people. You know, there's a business especially in the Western world, it's called network marketing. Have you ever heard of that? Network marketing, a lot of people use it, where you go from person to person and you explain it personally to the person about the benefits of their business. So networking is a very valuable tool for spreading a mission. And this mission that we have, we're looking to expand it. Absolutely. We're not satisfied with only, say, 100 people attending the class. We are looking for other people to participate in this class and get a fair understanding of a proper understanding of what the truth is. Because we're also looking for people to become initiated. Oh, really? Yes, we are. We want people to take initiation, but we have standards. We do. We have some experience in this. Over the years, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu and I have had some experience in this. And I want you to, I'm going to show you a letter that I received from him to somebody. It's not mentioning names, but it explains our standard. Go ahead, Ram Raghava, put that up. As you know, our Hare Krishna Society standards for first initiations are that a candidate should attend our classes weekly for a minimum of 6 months. We used to do that in the temples back in the day, where you have to come to the program for 6 months. So we're following the same procedure that Prabhupada had, but this is a different type of discipline, training. Should attend our classes weekly for a minimum. Why? Why 6 months? So you get an idea of the direction we're taking in giving understanding to people that we're initiating people on the basis that Prabhupada is still living in sound, Vani incarnation. People want to minimize Vani incarnation. Don't do that. Incarnation means manifestation, an actual manifestation of a person. Chant 16 rounds, that is a standard rule for disciplining our members to fix their minds on
Kṛṣṇa, 16 rounds. Follow the regulative principles. We know those. And here it is, very important, and assist in our preaching efforts. Why? Because we're a group working together, not a group of independent lone wolves that decide, oh, I think I know what everything is about. For example, we're printing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and redistributing it. And we expect that everybody in our group is assisting us in this preaching effort to please Śrīla Prabhupāda and Kṛṣṇa. That is very important. This is a practical service. And we're doing very well with it, and we're expanding it. And we expect through networking with our group that you'll try to distribute these Bhagavatams to your friends to give them a chance to also get the nectar of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam unedited and unchanged from Śrīla Prabhupada in his original versions. If someone wants to engage in independent preaching, here it says, we cannot control that. Obviously, everybody has got independent free will, and they can do what they want. But do we want them on our team? Well, if you want to be on our team, you have to follow the guidelines that we outline as a discipline to meet the standards that Prabhupada says, those standards, or the letter says, were established by Śrīla Prabhupada himself and are described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes, you have to cooperate, you have to work. And this is what we want to see, people step up, not step down. Come get initiation, then leave and go do your own thing and then disappear. That is something we've experienced on multiple occasions. And it's a disappointment. Now, the point about initiation, it's important to realize this, that a person that's committed to Śrīla Prabhupada doesn't necessarily have to take initiation, although it's recommended in Shastra. You stand up and make a formal declaration that you're a Prabhupada disciple. That's not necessary. You can follow the principles, you can fix your mind, and you can try to work cooperatively. That is quite all right. But for those that want to make that public commitment, we have these initiation ceremonies. It's called formal initiation, and it's recommended in the Shastra. Very much so. So we have experienced in the past that some candidates take a Ritvik initiation. Haribo. And then they slacken off, they leave, and we never hear from them again. That is true. Or they turn around and attack us. There's different things that go on. We're not going to talk about it because they're irrelevant. It's them that initiate themselves into the mission. We don't initiate people. They initiate themselves. We perform a function of initiation by being officiating, Ritvik initiation. We help them like we did when Prabhupada was with us, and myself personally, Prabhupada would ask me to perform the fire sacrifice for the person being initiated. So we were acting as his ambassadors. Those standards help us to ascertain the seriousness of any candidate. Well, who are you? Well, we're qualifying people. That's it. You have to qualify the people you associate with as well. Ask them questions. Listen to their answers. Qualify them. So you know what is going on with them in their minds. And they'll reveal themselves. People love to talk. And you can hear everything. I've met quite a few new devotees, and I hear their history. They tell it to me, and it's obvious to me. Prabhu, hold on. So it's obvious that by their birth or their circumstance, they've been committed to this for a long time, but they've been misled by other people and they realize it. Let me give you one more example. Yesterday, I talked to a person in jail in Los Angeles. He's in, they call it the Twin Towers. Now, he's in jail for attempted murder. Very interesting. Now, Ron Singh sent him my phone number some couple of months ago, 3 months ago, and I heard his story. He told me his whole story. He was very, very nice on the phone, extremely humble and polite, and just a pleasure to speak to. And he told me his story, Ram Raghava, how he had been charged. He attacked some guy with a machete, and he was in jail, and they were going to charge him with attempted murder. But he told me his story. He was really defending himself. Okay. And yesterday, he told me, well, the Crown Attorney finally heard, okay, I don't know what it is in America, but finally heard his side of the story, and they dropped the charges. Okay. And then he told me, he said, you know, it's something about this other group I used to go around. Nobody would answer my call. Nobody cares. We care. We care about other people. And I'm so excited for him, and we're going to make a plan in the future to continue to encourage him to carry on with his Krishna consciousness and encourage him to follow the principles and take initiation. Because we have a sponsorship program. Yes, we are looking for people to become initiated, because that is a commitment that they make to Śrīla Prabhupāda and to Lord Chaitanya and to themselves to live a life of Krishna consciousness and have a proper use of time to save themselves and others to go back home, back to Godhead. And that is the greatest gift that you can give to others. And we're here to help them. So that's our business. We're not in the guru business. We're in the initiation business, using the Ritvik system and promoting Prabhupada as the bona fide spiritual master. And he won't let you down. And recently, Rupa Goswami, I'm seeing different letters come out online of people that have been disciples of other gurus for 20, 30 years. And they're writing, after 25 years of you never answering my letters, I have another person from Calgary. She was initiated by a devotee in Texas, some devotee there. And the thing was, I said, well, is it possible I could speak to him? Because I think he knows me. I think he knows me, and I'd like to speak to him. And she said, well, it's impossible for me to get a hold of him because he doesn't accept phone calls from his disciples. Oh, very interesting. Well, this kind of business is going on, this fake guru business, and we are trying to establish an opportunity for people to get the right understanding of this philosophy of Guru Tattva and go back to home, back to Godhead at the time of death. So this is some, I thought we'd talk about that because we're getting a lot of inquiries. And by the way, if you're interested in initiation, okay, please consider it. I'm here, we're here to discuss it with you. And hopefully you can be prepared for our next initiation ceremony, which will be coming up. The date is not set. And by the way, most people, Shrestha Rupa, we have a panel of advisors, yes, about that. So we'll post that at the end of the program as well. But there's a lot of interest when we have our initiation ceremonies, Ram Raghava. You see the attendance goes way up. People are interested. They want to know how we explain this philosophy of initiation for people, not based on other groups' mental speculation, concoction, No, not based on that, but on Prabhupada's instructions on how you can become his disciple. Very simple. And we'll move forward with our next section of the program. And if you have any questions, by the way, call. You can always call me. I saw it yesterday, Ram Raghava. Prabhupada was saying, employer, you're an employee of Krishna. That's what we are. So I'm simply an employee of Prabhupada and Krishna. And I work full time as an employee, just like some people, they spend 40 hours a week at a job. Well, I spend a lot more than 40 hours a week at this job of being an employee of Prabhupada and Krishna. That's my role. And I'm ready to answer the call anytime you call me. It's interesting too, just one point. We have a celebration coming, the Prabhupada Disappearance Festival on November 15th. And we've been sending out invitations to some godbrothers, some prominent godbrothers around the world. And guess what? None of them are accepting it. Now, someone said to me, well, what does that tell you? Well, it tells me, here's the expression, they're popped out. We're not interested. You don't want to come? Okay, don't. But that speaks louder than words. You are telling us what you're about. We ask you to be a part of this group, organized a Prabhupada Disciples Association. Just understand the name, everyone. Prabhupada Disciples, not disciple. Disciples Association. Disciples coming together, associating to glorify Śrīla Prabhupada and spread his mission around the world, and I'm not interested in attending. You won't even respond to us, Mr. Big Shots. Well, your actions speak louder than your words, which are usually fluff. Anyway, that's enough of that. I guess I could keep going. Here, we're going to go to chapter 4 of Beyond Birth and Death. And again, these are lectures by Śrīla Prabhupada from 1966. So they give a real nice summary of the philosophy to help people remind themselves why they're devotees. If even the higher planets in this universe are subject to birth and death, why do great yogis strive for elevation to them? That's a good question, isn't it? Although they may have many mystic powers, the yogis still have the tendency to want to enjoy the facilities of material life. On the higher planets, it is possible to live for incredibly long lifetimes. That's true. The time calculation on these planets is indicated by Sri Krishna, Sahasra Yuga Pariyatam Aha Yad Brahmano Vidhu Patrim Yuga Sahasrantam Te Hyo Yatra Yuvido Janaha. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together is the duration of Brahma's one day. And as such, also is the duration of his night. So that's in Bhagavad Gita 8:17. One yuga covers 4,300,000 years. Seems like a long time, doesn't it? This number multiplied by 1,000 is calculated to be 12 hours of Brahma on the planet Brahmaloka. Similarly, another 12-hour period covers the night. 30 such days equals a month, 12 months a year, and Brahma lives for 100 years. Life on such a planet is indeed long, yet even after trillions of years, the inhabitants of Brahmaloka have to face death. Unless we go to the spiritual planets, there is no escape from death. Avyaktad, Vyaktaya Sarvaha, Pravati Ahar Agamani, Ratri Agamani, Pralyante, Tri Avyakta Samgyate. When Brahma's day is manifest, the multitude of living entities comes into being, and at the arrival of Brahma's night, they're all annihilated. That's Bhagavad Gita A18 for your reference. At the end of the day of Brahma, all the lower planetary systems are covered with water, and the beings on them are annihilated after this devastation. And after the night of Brahma passes, in the morning when Brahma arises, there is again creation, and all things beings, all these beings come forth. The subjection to creation and destruction is the nature of the material world. Bhuta grama se evam, bhutva prailiyate, patriyagami vashaha partha, pravati har agame. Again and again, the day comes and this host of beings is active. And again, the night falls, O Partha, and they are helplessly dissolved. That's a Bhagavad Gita 8:19. So go to those today and read them. Although the living entities do not like devastation, that devastation will come and overflood the planets until all living beings on the planets stay merged in water throughout the night of Brahma. But as day comes, the water gradually disappears. So this is from Shastra. Paras tasmat tu bhavonya bhyakto bhyaktat sanatana ya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyat su na vinashyati. Yet there is another nature which is eternal. That's our true nature, and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. Bhagavad Gita 8:20. We cannot calculate the extent of the material universe, but we have Vedic information that there are millions of universes within the entire creation. And beyond these material universes, there is another sky, which is spiritual. There, all the planets are eternal. And the lives of all the beings on them are eternal. In this verse, the word bhava means nature, and here another nature is indicated. In this world, we have to experience also, we also have two natures. The living entity is spirit, and as long as he's within matter, matter is moving, and as soon as the living entity, the spiritual spark, is out of the body is immovable, and we've all had that experience. I especially, with the recent death of Paul here, or Gopal here in Yotapek, saw him go straight down, spirit soul leaving the body. The spiritual nature is called Krishna's superior nature, and the material is called the inferior. Beyond this material nature, there is a superior nature which is totally spiritual. It is not possible to understand this by experimental knowledge. We can see millions and millions of stars through a telescope, but we cannot approach them. We have to understand our incapabilities. If we cannot understand the material universe by experimental knowledge, what is the possibility of understanding God and His kingdom? It's not possible. It is not possible experimentally. We have to understand by hearing Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand who our Father is by experimental knowledge. We have to hear the word of our mother and believe her. If we do not believe her, there's no way of knowing. If we just stick to the Krishna conscious method, all of information about Krishna and his kingdom will be revealed. So the Vedas are our mother. So we have to listen to the truth given from the Vedas. Paras tu bhava means superior nature, and abhyakta refers to what we see manifested. We can see that the material universe is manifested to the earth, sun, stars, and planets. Beyond this universe is another nature, an eternal nature, and that's us, abhyaktat sanatana. This material nature has a beginning and an end. Yeah, it's a very short lifetime here. But the spiritual nature is sanatana, eternal. It has neither beginning nor end. How is this possible? A cloud may pass over the sky and it may appear to cover a great distance, but actually it is only a small speck covering an insignificant part of the whole sky. Because we are so small, if only a few hundred miles is covered by clouds, it appears the whole sky is covered. Similarly, the whole material universe is like a small, insignificant cloud in the vast spiritual sky. It is encased by the Mahatattva matter. As cloud has a beginning and an end, this material nature also has a beginning and an end. When the clouds disappear and the sky's clear, we see everything as it is. Similarly, the body is like a cloud passing over the spirit soul. Yes, and life is short, everyone. It stays for some time, gives some products, dwindles, and then vanishes. Any kind of material phenomena that we observe is subject to these 6 transformations of material nature. It comes into being, grows, stays for a while, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. Krishna indicates that beyond this changing cloud-like nature, there is a spiritual nature which is eternal. In addition, when this material nature is annihilated, that abhyakta sanatana will remain. In Vedic literatures, there's a good deal of information about the material and spiritual skies. In the 2nd canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there are descriptions of the spiritual sky and its inhabitants, so you can go to that. There's even information given that there are spiritual airplanes in the spiritual sky. And the liberated entities there travel about on these planes. Like lightning, everything that we find here can also be found in reality. Here in the material sky, everything is an imitation or a shadow of that which exists in the spiritual sky. There's a lot of philosophy about this that explains as you continue to read the books. As in its cinema, we simply see a show or facsimile of a real thing. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is said that this material world is but a combination of matter modeled on the reality, just as a mannequin of a girl in a store window is modeled on a girl. Every sane man knows that the mannequin is an imitation. Śrīla Swami says that because the spiritual world is real, this material world, which is an imitation, appears to be real. It's a reflection, everyone. We must understand the meaning of reality. Reality means existence which cannot be vanquished. Reality means eternity, not Maya. Vishata vidyate bhavo, nabhavo vidyate sataha, ubayo api dristantas, te twa anyos tattva darshibibi. Go ahead, we'll read a bit more. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent there is no endurance, and of the existence there is no cessation. This seers have concluded by studying the nature of both, and that is in the Bhagavad Gita 2:16. So we're going to end the reading today at this point, and we'll come back. Got to look at this. Real pleasure is Krishna. Try to remember that. This is the beginning of spiritual life. First, you understand you're not the body. Then you can progress forward and understand how to engage the spirit, soul, under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master in bhakti yoga devotional service. And we'll elaborate that as we carry on with our programs moving into the future, which is very short. Don't think that you're here forever, but you're here for some time, and make the best use of the time by becoming a member of this association, the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupada, but now we're going to move to the next section, which is Prabhupada directly speaking to us. So pay attention. Haribol.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam. So, the Krishna consciousness or devotional service means purifying these senses. That's all. We haven't got to eradicate, get out of the sensual activities. No. We are simply to purify the senses. How you can get out of the senses? Because you are living entity, the senses are there. But the thing is that at the present moment, because we are materially contaminated, our senses are not getting full enjoyment. This is more scientific. So, devotional service means purifying the senses. Sarvapādhi vinimuktam tatparatena nirmala. Nirmala means purification. How you can purify your senses? That is defined in Narad Bhakti Sutra. It is said that Sarvapādhi vinimuktam. Purification of the sense means you have to be free from all kinds of designation. Our life is full of designation. Just like I'm thinking I'm Indian, I'm thinking I'm sannyasi, you are thinking you are American, you are thinking man, you are thinking woman, you are thinking white, you are thinking black. So many designations. These are all designations. So, purifying the senses means to purify the designation. And Krishna consciousness means that I am neither Indian, nor European, nor American, nor this, nor that. I am eternally related with Krishna. I am the part and parcel of Krishna. When we are fully convinced that I am part and parcel of Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness and that is purification of your senses. So as part and parcel of Krishna, you have to serve Krishna. That is your pleasure. Now we are trying to satisfy our senses, our material senses. When you realize yourself that you are part and parcel of Krishna, then you will satisfy the senses of Krishna, Govinda. And by satisfying his senses, your senses will be satisfied. Just like crude example, this is not spiritual. Just like husband is understood as the enjoyer, and the wife is considered as the enjoyer. But if the wife satisfies the senses of the husband, his senses are also satisfied. Similarly, just like you have got some itching on the body, and the part of your body, the fingers, itches on that party, the satisfaction also felt by the fingers also. Not that the particular part only is feeling the sensation of satisfaction, but the whole body is feeling this satisfaction. Similar, Krishna being the full. When you satisfy Krishna, sense of Krishna, Govinda, then the satisfaction of the whole universe takes place. This is the sense. Tasmin tushte jagattushta. The another example is, just like if you satisfy the stomach in your body, then the whole body is satisfied. The stomach will issue such energy by digestion of the foodstuff that it will transform into blood, it will come into the heart, and from the heart it will be diffused all over the body, and all over the body the depression, the exhaustion which has undergone, that will be satisfied. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness. This is the science of Krishna consciousness, and Krishna is explaining personally. So, just gyata. If we understand the science of Krishna consciousness, then there will be nothing unknown. Everything will be known. It is such a nice thing.
Yes, this designation, Prabhupada stresses it here. When I was listening to the talk, I was thinking, now, this is how to explain the philosophy. Write these examples down of Prabhupada, how he used these examples to explain the philosophy to new people. Not bridge preaching, factual preaching. Use his words. You can put them in your own words, but use his words, his examples to explain the philosophy to others. That's how you preach. And we're going to move forward with the next section of our program, which is the chanting of Jaya Radhama, Radha Madhava, the bhajan, but led by Śrīla Prabhupāda. So sing along. He's here with us. And then we're going to have our reading and discussion from the Delhi Bhagavatams that you're going to plan to share with other people moving forward. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. Haribol.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yaśodā-nandana Braja Jana Vandana. Yaśodā-nandana Braja Jana Vandana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Sankara Sadasyaman Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhavan ki jai, Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya, Narayanam namaskritya, Naram cheva narottamam, Naram cheva narottamam, Devim saraswatim vyasam, Devim saraswatim vyasam, Tato jayam udirayet, Tato jayam udirayet. One should utter the means of conquest, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, one, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, two, to the Nara-Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, three, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then four, to Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author, from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This reading is being conducted from the original New Delhi edition, the 1962 edition, and all purports, translations, and synonyms are from His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda, Founder-Ācārya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. As we do every week, we will be reading a few selected verses from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam itself, which explains the meaning and the benefit of hearing this powerful literature. Today, we will read the Sanskrit verses right through. Yadanudyasina yuktaha karma granti nibandhanam chindanti kovidastasya kuna kuryat kataratim susrushoho shraddhadanasya vasudeva kataruchihi Syanmahat sevaya vipraha punyatirtani sevanat Shrinvatam svakatah Krishnaha punyashravana kirtanah Hridyantasto hyabadrani vidunoti suritsatam Nashtaprayeshu babadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama-shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tadarajastamo bhavaham kamalobhadayaschaye cheteterana viddham stitam sattve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Ritaya Grantis Chidyante Sarva Samshaya Kshiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Evatmanishvare. We will read our specific text today. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 28. Nahyasya anya matam kinchid Astram Pratibha Kṛṣṇam Jayastrate Javannadam Astragnya Hyastratejasa not he certainly asya of it anyatamam other kinchit anything astram weapon prati counter abakarasanam reactionary jahi get it subsided astrateja the glare of this weapon Unnadham, very powerful. Astragnya, or the expert in military science. He, as a matter of fact, astratejasa, by the influence of your weapon. Translation by Śrīla Prabhupāda. The Lord said, O Arjuna, there is no other weapon except the Brahmāstra to counteract the action of a Brahmāstra. And therefore, as you are well expert in the military science, get the glare of the weapon subsided by the influence of your weapon as a matter of fact. Purport by His Divine Grace. But for the atomic bombs, there is no counter weapon which can neutralize the effects. But by subtle science, the action of similar Brahmāstra could be counteracted, and those who were expert in the military science in those days could also counteract the danger of atomic bomb like the Brahmāstra. Son of Dronacharya did not know the art of counteracting the weapon, and therefore Arjuna was asked to counteract it by the power of his own weapon. Text number 29. Sri Shuka uvacha Śrutva Bhagavatam proktam fal. Please display the text. Please display the verse. Śrutva Bhagavatam proktam falgunaha paraviraha sprista sapastam parikramya brahmam brahmastram sandade. What happened to the screen? I can't see the screen. Ram Raghava, Rupa Goswami, somebody display the screen. The
Might
text.
have a technical difficulty, Yaśodā.
Yes.
I lost
so.
I lost the connection for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. No problem.
Word for word. Sri
Yeah.
Sutta Goswami, Uvacha, said, Shrutva, after hearing, Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead, Proktam, what was said, Falgunaha, another name of Sri Arjuna, Paraviraha, the killer of opposing warrior, Pristva, after touching, Apas, water, Tam, him, Parikramya, circumambulating, Brahman, the Supreme Lord, Brahmastram, the supreme weapon, Sandade, acted upon. Translation. Sri Sutta Goswami said, thus hearing from the personality of Godhead Arjuna, touched water for purification, and after circumambulating Lord Sri Krishna, he acted on the Brahma weapon for counteracting the opposite one. Om Ajnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine prasannaya prashantaya tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Bhagavad Vandana Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadati Visheshatah Adadana Strinam Danteridam Yache Punaha Punaha Śrīmad Padam Bhojat Dhulisyam Janma Janmani Amsho Bhagavatusmyaham Sadadaso Asmi Sarvata Tat Kripa Pikshako Nityam Tat Prishta Shatakaromisvam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we see in this particular segment of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, after Aśvatthāmā released his Brahmāstra weapon, Arjuna is being told by Krishna to counteract the influence of the atomic weapon release by Aśvatthāmā. Of course, this particular science of mantra chanting and releasing such powerful weapons is not known nowadays, but during the time of the Mahabharata 5,000 years ago, this was there. By mantras, they were able to release these powerful weapons. Now, Prabhupada makes the point here that the current atomic weapons cannot be counteracted once they are released. But the Brahmāstra weapon that was released by Aśvatthāmā can be counteracted. There is a counteracting mantras and counteracting weapons. Prabhupada mentions in the Ishopanishad that modern society and modern scientists have invented atomic weapons and other weapons by which they can accelerate the death of living beings. But they have not yet found weapons or solutions to the problem of solving birth, death, old age, and disease. Sometimes people are very enamored with our modern civilization. They're able to build airplanes, Sputniks, large buildings, so many things, cars, big ships. But we see in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, for those who care to read and educate themselves, that there are so many wonderful achievements in previous ages, many thousands of years ago. There are vimanas, there are airplanes that Vedic civilization used to have. We see in this particular segment of Bhagavatam, as amazing as it may be, that they had a nuclear weapon, much more powerful than the current atomic weapons. And somebody could say, well, how is that? Because that is done by a special science. It's called Astra-Vigyan, the science of releasing weapons with powerful mantras from the Vedas. Of course, we are concerned about solving the problems of death, not accelerating death. Because when knowledge is not used properly, it can become very dangerous. Prabhupada used to often quote the Bengali proverb, Alpa vidya bhayam kari. A little bit of knowledge can sometimes be very dangerous. This is very important because we see nowadays certain individuals who profess to be spiritual advisors or spiritual mentors, but unfortunately who have not really assimilated the science from the bona fide authorized Acharya, Śrīla Prabhupāda. Therefore, they tend to mislead people, to compromise. This is an unfortunate situation. It's very interesting. Yesterday, I had a correspondence with a relative who told me that, well, sometimes I may not come to the program because of this reason, that reason. And then just after that, what happened is somebody sent me a YouTube, a WhatsApp lecture by Śrīla Prabhupāda, what Prabhupada was saying that the Krishna Consciousness movement is meant to expose all the so-called yogis, swamis, philanthropists, and so many different class of deviants who are misleading people. And Prabhupada was explaining, we are doing this so they do not increase their influence. We are repeatedly criticizing them to neutralize their nonsense ideas. Because if you study Prabhupada's teachings, it was not just about, oh, Krishna is very beautiful, he is playing in the field with both Balaram and the cowherd boys. That is there. That is there in the Krishna book. But there's many, many segments of his preaching against the karmis, about modern civilization, misuse of the human form of life, misuse of the assets given by the personality of God, and exploiting people, misleading people, scientists misleading people with their false theories, some Big Bang idea. Prabhupada so many times was criticizing various aspects of modern civilization. One time Prabhupada complained that in India he has many enemies. His god brothers were against him, many of them. He says many of the local swamis, Mayavadis mostly, were against him. This is Bhaktivedanta Hindu Dharma Nashta hai. That Bhaktivedanta Swami is spoiling the Hindu Dharma because he's preaching completely about Krishna. They did not like his approach. Different politicians in Bombay in India were against him. They attacked the temple in Juhu when he started the temple. So it is not that when one decides to dedicate his life to preaching that everything is going to be peaches and cream and so easy. Oh, we're seeing the phenomena. We have dedicated ourselves to preach, to reestablish Prabhupada's original teachings, Prabhupada's Vani incarnations, to emphasize that Prabhupada's teachings should not be changed. They should not be amended. But yet we are receiving so many objections from various individuals who do not like this because they make a business out of this. Somebody recently asked me, so Yasoda and Vishwa, is there any evidence in the Shastra of your approach here, of all of this criticizing gurus and this and that? I said, yes, Prabhupada did that. There's a description in the Padma Purana of a conversation between Lord Shiva and Parvati. And Parvati is discussing that what we are doing here, he's having a discussion with his wife, Lord Shiva, Guravo Bahavo Shanti, that there are many gurus, Shishya Vittapaharakaha, who are very expert in taking away the wealth of the disciple, Vitta, the money, Vitta Harakaha, taking away the money of the disciple. Durlabha Sadguru Devi, but to find a bona fide Sadguru Vaishnavacharya, that is very rare. Shantapaharakaha, one who is able to take the misery away, the anxiety of the disciple, that is very rare. And that personality is His Divine Grace, Śrīla Prabhupada, the current Acharya of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. That is why Prabhupada put so much emphasis for those people who became disciples and students to carefully read his books and study his books. All of you may be familiar, there is a conversation on YouTube. I saw Śrīla Prabhupada was talking. He says, don't eat and sleep. Take advantage of these books. I've written these books for you. Read, read, read. Why? Because Prabhupada knew that at some point in the future, after his departure, there would be disturbances. There would be confusion. There would be so-called swamis, so-called yogis, so-called philanthropists, misleading other persons. Now, we're not pointing the finger at any group in particular or at any devotees in particular. This is a general statement by Śrīla Prabhupada in the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam. and in other places in his books. But it's important to understand Prabhupada wrote these books for his disciples to learn and for his disciples to study, to read and study, to carefully study, so that they would be protected against all of these misleading ideas, misleading philosophies, and misleading propaganda. That as part of this program, several times we've discussed, do not be misled by the propaganda of self-appointed religionists, self-appointed advisors, self-appointed gurus. If you carefully study Prabhupada's books, you will find so many statements that right during Prabhupada's presence, he was warning in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about non-devotees and pseudo-devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement. In the Bhagavatam, in the 9th canto, in one place, he warns about karmis in the dress of devotees. All of you are familiar in the Chaitanya Charitamrita about Prabhupada's warning about Kali Chelas, persons who are only interested in earning money in the dress of Vaishnavas. Why did Prabhupada put that in his purport? He did not identify particular persons. He did not give the names of any individuals. He was giving the symptoms. He was explaining what was happening and what could happen in the future to protect his sincere devotees. Those who are sincere followers can distinguish between the pretenders and the posers, and those who are genuinely sincere wanting to follow his teachings. This is not complicated. This is not difficult to understand. When Prabhupada says there are many envious persons in the dress of devotees in the Krishna consciousness movement, at some point a person has to ask themselves, well, how do we recognize these? What are the symptoms? Here's a very important purport from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 8th canto. I stand duly corrected. I quoted 9th canto. It's the 8th canto, chapter 9, text 28. The place, the time, the cause, the purpose, the activity, and the ambition were all the same, both for the demigods and the demons. But the demigods achieve one result and the demons another, because the demigods are always under the shelter of the dust of their Lord's lotus feet. They could very easily drink the nectar and get its result. The demons, however, not having sought shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, were unable to achieve the result they desire. Further on in the purport, Prabhupada said, the devotees, however, because of fully surrendering at the lotus feet of the Lord, are never baffled in their attempts. Although externally they work almost like the karmis, the devotees go back home, back to Godhead, and achieve success in every effort. The demons or atheists have faith in their own endeavors, but although they work very hard day and night, they cannot get any more than their destiny. The devotees, however, can surpass the reactions of karma and achieve wonderful results even without effort. It is also said, phalena parichiyate, one success or defeat in any activity is understood by its result. There are many karmis in the dress of devotees, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead can detect their purpose. The karmis want to use the property of the Lord for their selfish sense gratification, but a devotee's endeavor to use the Lord's property for God's service. Therefore, a devotee is always distant from the karmis, although the karmis may dress like devotees. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, text 9, Yajñartat karmanotnyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. One who works for Lord Vishnu is free from this material world, and after giving up his body, he goes back home, back to Godhead. A karmi, however, although externally working like a devotee, is entangled in his non-devotional activity, and thus he suffers the tribulations of material existence. Thus, from the result achieved by the karmis and devotees, one can understand the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who acts differently for the karmis and jnanis than for the devotees. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, there is difficulty. I thought the comment, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, that our godbrother Vijaya Pandit made, thank you, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, to remind me that the preaching is not so easy sometimes, to remind us, actually, all of us, that preaching can be difficult. And I had direct experience with Prabhupada when I met him after purchasing the Toronto temple, because he came to the temple and he called me into his room. He had a special quarters for him. I had a private darshan with him, and he asked me, how is the book distribution going? And I explained to him that we were still distributing some books, but it was more difficult because we had more responsibilities in operating a large temple like that, the biggest one in North America at the time. And he looked at me and he said, but we have to take some trouble for Krishna. And that's what Prabhupada did personally in terms of his own life, that he was undergoing great austerity. Back then, I recall Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, we were doing Sankirtan on Yonge Street, Vijaya Pandit, and we had 62 charges against the devotees for assault against the karmis on Yonge Street. 62 charges. That's a lot and very serious. It was a criminal offense. That was a problem, Vijaya Pandit, to be charged by the police. So I had to undergo a strategy. My strategy was to go down to the police department and speak to 50 officers at their headquarters, 52 Division. I went to speak to them directly, face to face. And I explained to them what we were doing and why we were doing it. And eventually, the Crown dropped all the charges. So Krishna helped us. It was difficult. Yes, it was. We were thrown in jail, Vijaya Pandit. I don't know if you've ever been in jail. We were attacked not only, just so you know this, everybody, we were attacked by the same people we brought into the movement. Within our own organization, they tried to destroy us out of envy. They had the police come. They planted guns in the building. They tried to get us arrested. That was from our own membership, from our own people. We have to be very careful who we deal with. People that are offensive, people that are not Krishna conscious but are personally motivated, they'll attack you as well on all fronts. And we've seen it. Absolutely, I've seen it. Very sad. But nonetheless, nobody won. You know something, Vijaya Pandit? We had a couple of guys that went on the radio against us. Yes, we had a fundraising program to pay off the mortgage at the temple. And they went against us on the radio. A guy named Lolly Vidge. And there was another guy, Topper. They really went against us. They were threatening me, and they were threatening other people. I told them, come on, let's go. I'm from the Hammer. That's what Hamilton, what is the Hammer. We'll get out the hammer too. Krishna got out the hammer. And guess what happened to those people, Vijaya Pandit? They were murdered. They planted the guns in the building. They fabricated the whole scheme to destroy our reputation. And we lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, by the way. There were hundreds and 700 articles against us in the paper. Oh, yeah. And coma was all around us. They were attacking. Of course, the envy was there because we bought one of the most prestigious buildings in Canada on a main highway in downtown Toronto. So we came from nowhere. Hare Krishna became a name that was recognized in the city of Toronto. And this is a sign. What did he say? When the police stopped I say to the police, to meet you. You know, very good. I'm glad you handled it. The point is, when you're effective, you will get a reaction, not only from people outside in the karmi world, but people inside. So remember that. And we have direct experience. And Prabhupada told me that. You have to take some trouble for Krishna. You can't expect everything to be all right. And these tests, these will help us become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. So what happened to you, Vijay Pandit? Tell us. You got arrested by somebody? Were you put in jail? One time, eh? Okay.
Well, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Well, in jail by book distribution, never. But I was brought to the police station many times. And when I reached the police station, the captain saw me and told to the other policeman, "But you fool! You don't see who is this boy? He's a Hare Krishna. Come on, get out here!" So something like this. You understood what I mean?
Of course we do. You speak with English.
So sometimes that happens to me. So many times policemen come out to see who I am. So I tell them, "Oh, nice to see you all, to know that somebody's protecting us." And they remain shocked when I say this to them. But I have to tell them. They're in the rule to protect the people. So I tell them and remind them, you're here to protect the people. So I'm happy to see you. So this happened to me.
When people attack the devotees, there is a reaction to the genuine devotees. Absolutely. And like I said, these two people that attacked us, they were both shot to death by other people. And the police came to my house. They tried to accuse me. "Oh, you were involved in this." I said, I've been away from that mission for many years because on many accounts, as Prabhupada used the example of wood, Yaśodā. He said, the wood is used to create the axe that will chop the tree down. So in this way, things can be destroyed by your own membership. So we have to guard against that. And we're going to leave it at that for now. Thank you very much. We're going to go to our next section of the program, which is Our Living Guru, and it is a further insights into the current situation. Hare Krishna.
We are reading from Our Living Guru, which was finalized in 1993. Chapter number 3, Eternally Linking with Krishna, 3.1. How and when does the link between the eternal preceptor guru and the disciple begin? Answer, Śrīla Prabhupāda. The eternal bond between disciple and spiritual master begins from the first day he hears. Letter on the 4th of September, 1972. Now, just as before, we can maintain our link, our bond with Śrīla Prabhupāda by submissively hearing through his merciful and monumental legacy of books, letters, and tapes, and now videos, and even a computerized folio. Śrīla Prabhupāda mercifully continues living with us. This is basically the same principle of Vani incarnation, which we've been preaching. Section 3.2, did Śrīla Prabhupāda perhaps foresee that his movement's leaders would lose sight of his presence and might dissipate the movement by discouraging people from linking up with him? If so, how did Śrīla Prabhupada plan to continue providing us the opportunity to link up with him? Answer, again, through his books, letters, and tapes. Quote, you have taken the right view of the importance of my books, Śrīla Prabhupada wrote in a letter on the 11th of August, 1973, to one of his leaders. Books will remain. That was the view of my Guru Maharaj, and I have also taken it. Therefore, I have started this movement with my books. The temples will be maintained by my book sales, and if there are no more temples, then the books shall remain. Amazingly, Prabhupada practically predicts that his temples might be closed due to mismanagement, but at least his books would continue existing. In an interview with a reporter in San Francisco in 1975, Prabhupada joyfully remarked in reply to a query regarding the status of the movement in the United States after his death. Reporter, what will happen to the movement in the United States after you die? Prabhupada, I shall never die. Devotees, Jai, Victory, Haribol. Prabhupada, I shall live from my books and you will utilize. And in a conversation on the 18th of February 1976, Śrīla Prabhupada remarked, after 80 years, no one can expect to live long. My life is almost ended. It is ended. So you have to carry on. And these books will do everything. Śrīla Prabhupada explains that the follower's success comes from full faith that the eternal Guru is always with him. Quote, but I had full faith, and that is a fact. There are two words, Vani and Vapu. Vani means words, and Vapu means this physical body. Vapu will be finished. This material body, it will be finished. That is the nature. But if we keep to the Vani, to the words of the spiritual master, then we remain very fixed up. If you accept Bhagavad Gita as it is, then you should know that Krishna is present before you in his words in the Bhagavad Gita. This is called spiritual realization. If you keep in touch with the original link, then you are directly hearing Krishna. Similarly, Krishna and Krishna's representative, spiritual master, if you always keep intact in link with the words and instruction of higher authorities like Śrīla Prabhupada, then you're always fresh. This is spiritual understanding. Lecture by Śrīla Prabhupada in Atlanta on March 2nd, 1975. And if the living body is not there, what must the aspirants do? So although a physical body is not present, the vibration should be accepted as the presence of the spiritual master vibration. What we have heard from the spiritual master, that is living. Lecture on the 13th of January, 1969. Hare Krishna, back to you in the studio.
Not fail, very invaluable bit of information. And he had, Pierangelo, he had practical experience in the Gaudiya Math. Remember, the Gaudiya Math had spread throughout India. There were 60 temples. And after the dissolution, after the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, there was a competition amongst all of his godbrothers to take roles as being gurus. We call it Gaudiya Math Part 2 in ISKCON. So Prabhupada had practical experience of this in his own spiritual journey. It wasn't, he was just making things up, just like we have practical experience in dealing with people as we carry on in our senior years. We have to be very careful not to destroy it from external forces or internal forces our mission. Temples will fail, but my books won't fail. And these Bhagavatams that we have, the Delhi Bhagavatams. We expect our membership to make an effort to help us. And by the way, the distribution of the books are going very well, the Delhi Bhagavatams. But remember this, there's a limited supply. These are collector's items that have been developed by our group for the benefit of other people. There's a limited supply. So if you can encourage people to get these books, especially the Delhi Bhagavatams, and study them, everything is in these 3 volumes, they'll be blessed with the information that they get through these literatures that we, as a group, have through a lot of trouble, Yaśodā-nandana, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as bad as back in the day in Toronto and other places, but it was trouble and struggle. And we somehow or other accomplished it. And we thank Krishna and Prabhupada for blessing us with this opportunity to distribute these books. And we're sharing it with all of us in this group, that you can be a part of it. And please be in touch with our group, all of the members that you want to talk to, and find out how you can participate. We're going to go ahead with our next section of the program, which is another lecture by Śrīla Prabhupāda. And then we've got a couple of questions. Maybe we'll go to that. Ram Raghava, let's ask Yaśoda a couple of questions. Can you read the questions from Shrestha Rupa Devi?
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
First question. How can we protect ourselves from distractions and maintain steady focus in our bhakti practices, especially when facing misunderstanding or lack of support from those around us?
Let me make this pretty simple. Prabhupada several times explained how in the Vedanta Sutra, there is a short aphorism stating, Anavriti Shabdat, one becomes liberated by sound vibration. That's why Prabhupada called it the Krishna Consciousness movement. It's simple. We hear about Krishna, we chant the name of Krishna, we chant the glories of Krishna, we talk about activities of Krishna, and in this way, we get connected with Krishna. Somebody may say, well, why is that? Because the name Krishna, Abhinatvam Nama Naminaha, in the Padma Purana, Prabhupada used to often quote, Abhinna means non-different, Nama, the name, Naminaha, the person. Krishna is non-different than his person. So in any situation, trying to stay connected. I had an interesting exchange with a devotee in 1993 in Alachua, Florida. And what happened is that one devotee was telling me he was having difficulty chanting his round because he had to do so much driving in his car for his business or whatever he was doing. And I said, well, do you have like a tape recorder in the car or a CD-ROM? He said, yeah. I said, why don't you put a tape of Prabhupada chanting japa, a tape of Prabhupada chanting the samsara prayers, a tape of Prabhupada delivering a Bhagavatam class, and stay connected. Where there is a will, there is a way. It's a matter of being serious about wanting to stay connected and keep hearing about Prabhupada and Krishna. That's basic explanation.
Okay,
Hare
next
Krishna.
question, Ram. Go ahead, read it out.
Next question is, when someone faces serious illness or disease with no cure, how can devotional service and faith in Krishna help us handle the situation with courage and surrender? What did Śrīla Prabhupāda teach us about facing such challenges with spiritual strength?
Well, one thing is our philosophy is based on knowledge. Knowledge means we know we're not the body. We know, practically speaking, from teachings of Bhagavad Gita, that this body will finish and one will accept another body according to the activities in this lifetime. And I know sometimes it can be a little difficult for devotees who don't have proper means or proper support or proper financial resources to get sufficient resources to take care of things. But we also have to rely on Krishna. In a previous program, I mentioned that devotees' life insurance policy is given in the Bhagavad Gita. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. That for those who are devoted to me, I carry what they lack and protect. In other words, Krishna protects the devotees. And the foremost example of this is in the Mahabharata, the story of Draupadi, who was attempted to be disrobed by the wicked Kurus, that Krishna provided unlimited sari. And she prayed to Krishna, Pratignatava Govinda name bhakta pranashyati. My dear Krishna, you have promised that your devotee will never perish. Iti samsmritya pranam sandarayamyaham. By remembering this again and again, I maintain my life. So mentally, a devotee has to understand this, take shelter of the name of Krishna, and take shelter of the teachings that we've been given by Śrīla Prabhupāda. We know that this body will finish at some point. Old age and disease are there. Take shelter of Krishna, pray to Śrīla Prabhupāda and Lord Chaitanya, and one will get some relief and some mercy. Hare Krishna.
One last question, Ram Raghava, please read it.
Okay. For those who cannot attend live classes regularly, how can they maintain and deepen their devotional practice at home or wherever we are?
I can give an answer for that.
Sure.
You can attend our classes on YouTube. It's not compulsory to be here at the Zoom meeting because of scheduling. That's all right. But you can always catch up. I know some people, Yaśodā, that have attended all of the classes since the beginning, 3 years ago. They've gone back and listened to every class and understood the progression that we're making as we move forward, because we're always improving. We're making an effort to always improve our devotional service. And that is the business of a devotee, to make it better. We're going to go to our next section, which is a lecture by Śrīla Prabhupāda. Go ahead, roll that section.
Padakamalang Jajgyata neha bhuya anyat gyatavam avasishyate. Bhuya means no more to understand anything. Everything is completely no. Then the question may be, why people do not understand Krishna? That is, of course, a relevant question. And that is being answered by Krishna in the next verse. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschit jatati siddhaya. Jatatam api siddhyanam kaschit man vetti tattva. Manusyanam sahasreshu. There are different kinds of men. Just like we know everyone on this planet only, apart from other planets, there are hundreds and thousands varieties of men. Even here we are sitting, so many ladies and gentlemen, there are different varieties. And if you go outside, there are different varieties. If you go to another country, India, Japan, China, you will find different. Therefore, it is said, Manusyanam sahasreshu. Out of many, many different varieties of men, kaschit jatati siddhaya. Only a few persons decide to understand the philosophy of life. Because man is rational animal. Man is rational, man is animal, but rational. The special gift to man is that he can decide what is good, what is bad. he has got an extra knowledge than the animals. So, at the present moment, the education system is so bad that it is practically animal education. Animal education means when we are too much interested with eating, sleeping, mating and defending, that is animal education. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending, you will find in animals. There is no distinction. They have got their own defending measure. They have got their own sleeping measure. They have got their own mating measure. You are mating with your wife in a secluded place, in a nice room, in a decorated room. But a dog is mating on the street, but the result is the same. So, to improve the method of mating is not advancement of civilization. That is animal civilization polished, that's all. The animal also, the dog can also defend from other dogs, and if you think that you have discovered atomic energy to defend yourself, that is not advancement of human civilization. The defending measure, that's all. Similarly, you go on analyzing. The analysis of man is perfect when he is searching after his constitutional position. What I am? What I am? Am I this body? I have come to this world. This inquisitiveness required. That is the special prerogative of human being. Therefore, as soon as one begins to inquire what I am, and if he goes on searching after this, then he will come to God, because he is part and parcel of God. He is sample of God. Therefore, Manusyanam Sahasreshu, out of many, many thousands varieties of men, one or say a few persons may be interested to know God. Not only not to know God, just to know himself. And if he actually wants to know himself, then gradually he will come to God.
Yes, gradually you'll come to God. Because Prabhupada here, Pirangelo, he made a very important point. He says, the human being is an animal. Yes, but he explains further, a rational animal. It is not easy, everyone, to get out of this material world. We know that, especially in the Kali Yuga. Especially right now, it's very difficult. It's a war. But with this discipline that Prabhupada has given us, this training, it is possible to elevate yourself even in this one lifetime out of the material situation. But it takes real determination and strict adherence to these principles. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. We'll move forward with our next section of the program. Ram Raghava, I believe it's the 10 offenses against chanting, and then we'll have the japa.
Yes, Prabhu. A recitation of the 10 offenses. And then
Okay.
japa.
Move that on. Thank you. All glories to Prabhupada.
Nectar of Devotion, Chapter 8, Offenses to be Avoided. The offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. First, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes the atheistic class of men take it that any demigod is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. But one who is a devotee knows that no demigod, however great he may be, is independently as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, if someone thinks that he can chant Kali, Kali or Durga, Durga, and it is the same as Hare Krishna, that is the greatest offense. Third, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master. Fourth, to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. Fifth, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth, to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh, to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Because by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can be freed from all kinds of sinful reactions. It should not be taken that one may continue to act sinfully and after that chant Hare Krishna to neutralize his sins. Such a dangerous mentality is very offensive and should be avoided. 8th, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities. Karma Kanda. 9th, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Anyone can take part in chanting the holy name of the Lord, but in the beginning one should not be instructed about the transcendental potency of the Lord. Those who are too sinful cannot appreciate the transcendental glories of the Lord, and therefore it is better not to instruct them in this matter. 10th, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names, and to maintain material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Rama
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Hare Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Rama Rama
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna
Rama
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama
Hare Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Hare Rama
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Hare Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Rama Rama
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Rama
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Rama
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare Rama
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama Rama
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Krishna,
Rama Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Rama, Hare Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Rama, Hare
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Rama Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Ram Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama Rama,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. Chant and be happy.
Let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating in this reading and discussion. Thanks Vishwakarma Prabhu in Yautepec, Mexico, Ram Raghava Prabhu in Georgia, and his mother and father, Rasikeshwari and Viprahita, both Prabhupada disciples, Krishna Kata Prabhu in San Diego, Rochisa Mataji dans la belle province de Québec dans les Laurentides, Radharani Mataji in Kansas, and Bhakta Roy in Mississippi, Nandi Mukhi, Voldisir Prabhu, Michael Dillon in Yuba City, California, Joseph Felici in Hamilton, Ontario, Bhakti in Renuka, wherever you are. And we have Ambika Mataji in St. Mary's, Alaska, Veerabhadra Goswami Prabhu in South India, Anshuman Mishra in Orissa, India, Bhakta Gopal in New Mexico, Shrestha Rupa Mataji in South India, Kanta Prabhu in Trinidad, Bhakta Vaibhav, wherever you are in India, and everybody else participating in the program. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo, thank you everyone. Remember, we're distributing the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Delhi editions worldwide. So help us with whatever you can to spread this literature to sincere people. And we'll see you again on Wednesday evening for Chaitanya Charitamrita class. Let's show the credits and move forward with other transcendental information for you at today's program. Haribo. I'm listening. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Kevala Bhakti प्राप्ति हो जहाँ